Hey, I'm back at my parents' house for the weekend and a few extra days because it's fall break, and I thought I'd watch myself a movie. After watching a lot of Minecraft videos over the weekend, I thought I'd need something a bit more professional. So I looked up a movie list and I found No Country for Old Men. Let's see how it goes. There's something wrong with that movie. I don't know. It's just like bad to watch. It's you watch this guy for so long and he just dies off screen, and then the villain just gets away, and then the guy's talking about his dreams, and then the movie ends. It's like, why even bother watching the movie at that point if it's just gonna end like that? Well, there were a lot of scenes in there that are like strange, some short ones. I had to have missed something. It was beautiful. The shots were great. The action was amazing. The villain's weapon is cool, but like, what the fuck is that ending? I have to watch it again. It's gonna be a long night. On some level, I understand it better, and on other levels, I understand it less. This movie has a lot of repetition in it. A lot of repetition of like the scenes. The scenes repeat a lot because each individual main character, the murderer, the cowboy, the sheriff, all go to the same scenes over and over again. And yet, not much is progressed. The sheriff's scenes are easily the weirdest. They just happen and nothing comes from it. The story is not advanced. It just shows you how much the sheriff doesn't do. There's a lot of small scenes like where he pulls over a guy for improperly storing dead things. There's another scene where he just says it's their nature that they died. It's just he doesn't do much. And then at the end he talks about his dreams about his dad. And then it ends. There's also some parallels, like scenes that are the same but not the same. Llewellyn crosses the border into Mexico to go to the hospital there, presumably to get away from Anton for at least a little bit. And Anton decides to blow up a car outside of a pharmacy and steal a bunch of stuff, go to a motel and heal himself there. And by heal himself, I mean like pull out the bullets and stuff. It's a very strange movie. It's like it's not just trying to tell a story, it's trying to have great characterization. Like more than just telling the story. That's what maybe that's what those scenes mean. The small scenes that do nothing. The scenes that are just there and they say something, maybe they're just there to show what the characters are. Why does it have a scene of the sheriff in a coffee shop eating coffee and going, boo, whatever? To show you how the sheriff thinks. The scenes don't exactly progress the story, but they show you who the characters are. Though little banter and just lines and dialogue often is used to characterize people, like in a normal movie, but like this is scenes on scenes that progress nothing. It's like it's trying to show the futility of trying to do anything. One more time. I need to watch it one more time. Now that I've seen the movie again, it's very strange to think of the closure it doesn't provide. It's a very slow thing. It's a movie that feels so standard, and yet that's ripped out of you 3/4 of the way through, and then it feels like a film you've never seen before, a film you couldn't even dream of. It's so different, and yet so the same. It denies the closure that one would want. Good triumph over the bad defeated and never let to do the bad thing again, the good able to live its life. But that doesn't happen. The sheriff fails, gets depressed, and quits his job. Llewellyn dead in a motel, money taken by Anton, the man who's killed almost everyone in this movie, disappears and is never seen again, at least by us. But there's something else hidden in this film. I need to see it again. Does it count as watching it again if I just dreamed about it all night? I'm gonna count it. Anyway, let's get back to the movie. So, No Country for Old Men has a very weird message in what it's trying to say. It's a, it is a kind of conservative message. I think we've all heard older conservative type people saying, "Oh, the world's getting worse. It wasn't as good as when I was young, back in my day," and whatnot. I think we've all heard that before. And this movie, No Country for Old Men, is no longer a place for these old men in this country anymore. But it tends to explain things in that right wing or conservative lens. So a conservative or right wing person can look at a person and tell you if it's good or bad, or right or wrong, but not necessarily have the right approach. They're not necessarily saying these actions they do, what they're doing is wrong, it's the person is bad. And that's something you can kind of see within Anton. It's not really explained why he does these things or what have you. He's just bad. Though it's not necessarily a problem. I mean, having a lot of explanation on why Anton was doing things would probably ruin the pacing of the movie. Anton feels like a real person and a one-dimensional character at the same time. It's very strange to watch because you'll see him and he'll just kill people. He'll walk into a room and kill people. Like it's just death coming after you. It's just him. He just kills people. It's like a cartoon villain that does nothing but murder people. And yet when he talks, he feels like someone who actually exists. It's too whatever. It's weird. Llewellyn feels like a real character, and so does the sheriff, especially at the end of the movie where he fails, gets depressed, and quits his job. A bit too real. The other thing that's more like conservative is work, doing your job. You have to do your job or bad things will happen. What does the sheriff not do for the entirety of the movie? And that is really try to catch the killer. He'll go around to the crime scenes, look around, but not really do that much. Some people ask him to go back, he doesn't. Some people ask him to go out, he doesn't. He goes and pulls over a guy or eats his breakfast at a coffee shop or something. Like, he doesn't do what he's supposed to. He doesn't do his job, and Llewellyn dies for it. The one thing that still stumps me is that ending. I get a lot of it. I get it's trying to people. Characterize these people. It's trying to characterize these characters. It's trying to build them up and then break your expectations. It's trying to create them as these things. It feels like a normal story. You have the structure, and then they knock them down. You know what's interesting? You have these three main characters. I guess you could say two protagonists and an antagonist, but whatever. You have the three main characters, and they never meet on screen. The closest they get, Llewellyn's dead body and the sheriff, or maybe Anton and Llewellyn talking on the phone, or I guess when they're in one shot together when Llewellyn shoots him with his gun and misses. Then he ducks away, never to be seen again. Well, Anton really is like a ghost the whole movie. Do you think? No. No. Let me watch it again. So I'm back home now, in my dorm, and I was reading this article because this is all I can think about now, and it's talking about Anton, how he's shown in the movie, saying he's an allegory for death, how he's like the Reaper or something, how he can just go places without necessarily showing how he knows those places. How does he know Carson was there? How does he know where the boss guy is? How does he know where all these people are? Why does he just kill people on the side of the road? These things is just showing he's like death, not a guy who kills people, but the concept. But you could take it further, couldn't you? I don't think that he's allegorically for death. I don't even think he's real.
Do you have any idea how crazy you are?
You mean the nature of this conversation?
I mean the nature of you.
There's a very strange scene towards the end of the movie where Ed Tom, the sheriff, returns to the scene of the crime where Llewellyn died, and you can see Anton there. And then as soon as he opens the door, he's gone. He's like a ghost. In fact, that's what one of the other guys calls him. This is the weirdest scene that Anton is in. Anton has a lot of weird scenes in the movie, but none of them are this explicit. This one is extremely strange. It starts to make you think about why they would do this. Again, similar to the other scenes, why would they add this scene? It's the puzzle of the movie. Do you remember when I said it wasn't taking it far enough to think of Anton as an allegory for death? I don't think he's necessarily an allegory for death, rather than a representation in the sheriff's mind of everything wrong with the world. Llewellyn may not be perfect, but he still sees Anton as the villain, as the evil thing that makes there no country left for this old man. You see, Anton does a lot of these things that don't necessarily make that much sense, and it can be explained that he's just a psychopath. But could it also be, nay, isn't it, that he is not a real person? He is an idea of everything wrong in the sheriff's mind. That's why you see the sheriff doing nothing. and nothing and nothing. It's a real thing. You're being shown what is actually happening from the sheriff's perspective, and you're seeing these ideas he has, the fights and the destruction, what he imagines happen. But how is one man doing all this? It isn't, but it's easier. It's easier. It's a simplification of reality. He is looking at what is happening and saying, okay, one guy did this, this, and this. And from the sheriff's perspective, there's no real reason to think that it's one person. He just knows it. This is why Anton can seem like a two-dimensional character, because that is how he views bad people. He views the cartel members as just expendable. They're just doing their job, and their job is to fight and die. They don't actually accomplish anything. That's why he says it's natural to the line of work they're in. He doesn't view them as actual people in a way. It's just the bad guys. That's why Anton just kills people for seemingly no reason. That's why the movie is like this. You see him doing nothing, and then at a certain point, he realizes that he can't do anything. It is a movie about helplessness and despair. It is a movie about giving up and the bad guys winning, because all of the bad guys are just one guy that beat you. You can't actually do anything because it's one evil, omnipotent guy that just kills everybody. Is the opposite of a simplistic story where there's the good guy and the bad guy. It is just the bad guy because the world has no place for him anymore. The world has changed and moved on without him. The sheriff has nothing left. It is no country for old guy men. Fuck! So that got a little intense, but let's take a step back. This movie is very indirect, scattered, unconventional, slower paced, and weird. But this brings me to a question. Is this movie good? Before we talk about it, what does that mean? And I'm not trying to be Jordan Peterson arguing semantics of little words, but there are very different ways that people think of a movie being good. Simplest one is probably like, does it make you feel good? Are you happy when you watch it? This is something that a lot of more popular movies probably do. It's just, does it make me feel good or happy or give me pleasure or whatever? Or does it not? I would say no. This movie doesn't make you feel that much pleasure. Maybe at some points there are highs and lows, like most movies have, but this movie ends on a low and just keeps sinking and sinking and sinking at the point where when the movie ends, you're like, what the fuck? So, no, I don't think so. But a movie like Detachment is a movie that I think is very, very good. But I never want to watch it again because it's so fucking sad. It makes me feel bad to watch it, and yet I think that movie is very, very, very good. So you could say, like, what you want out of a movie is what you want. Sounds circular, but let me say, it's like you want this character to survive, you want this character to die. You see Anton killing all these people, and you're like, that guy, I want that guy to die. I want that guy to be stopped. And seeing that would be like, yes, it's a complete loop. Seeing Llewellyn triumph over Anton would be great. And that doesn't happen. So, but I think this is a great movie. And I think this is my favorite movie I have ever seen. Why do I think that? Because it makes me think about things. This whole thing was me thinking through this. I didn't look up really anything for this. I don't know if my conspiracy theory or other ideas are widely shared or whatever, because these are my own thoughts. I sat down and wrote these down and then said them. Or I just turned the camera on and started recording. This movie made me think about so many things, and not only that, it's shot masterfully. The acting is so good. Oh, everything is so perfect in this movie, and yet it makes you feel bad. What does that mean for the goodness of this movie? I think it is as close to perfection as really anything can get. It's great. Though it is a piece of art, and pieces of art really rise and lower in different ways. Strengths of this movie, like not explaining things, the lack of words, won't necessarily work in something like a lawyer movie, like Better Call Saul. That's a TV show, but it's similar. That TV show works with having a lot of words said, a lot of things said, because that's what it's about. But there's still so many things left unturned, so many scenes that haven't been talked about, like the ending. Oh my god, the ending! That is the reason why I watched this movie so many times, and I really watched this movie that many times. It is crazy. I don't fucking get it. It's his father in the distance, going up ahead, starting a fire. Satisfaction is what this movie lacks, which is what makes it so powerful. And just as the movie ends on a note that you don't understand and with very little satisfaction and closure, this video will end with very little satisfaction and closure.